Cooper.
Another mystery buried deep in the hills of eastern Washington keeps resurfacing, a bottomless pit said to be a pathway to the paranormal.
Have you heard about the eerie phenomenon lurking in the heart of eastern Washington? Another mystery buried deep in the hills, a bottomless pit rumored to be a gateway to the paranormal. Imagine stumbling upon a seemingly endless void, shrouded in enigma. That's Mel's hole. Discovered by the curious local resident Mel Waters, this enigmatic chasm has sparked a cascade of unsettling discoveries and inexplicable events that defy all rational explanations. But the intrigue doesn't end there. Recently, intrepid explorers lowered a drone into its depths, only to capture spine-chilling images that have left even the most seasoned scientists scratching their heads in bewilderment. What secrets lie hidden within this unfathomable abyss? What strange forces are at play in the depths of our planet? Join us as we embark on a journey into the mind-bending tale of Mel's hole and the bone-chilling mysteries concealed within its shadowy recesses. Strap in for a ride into the unknown, where reality blurs with the inexplicable and the line between fact and fiction begins to blur. Chapter 1. Unraveling the Mystery of Manistash Ridge's Enigmatic Abyss. Meet Jay Nickel, a 34-year-old native of Ellensburg whose life has been intertwined with the secrets of his hometown. Jay vividly recalls encounters with a peculiar phenomenon roughly 7 miles from Manistash Ridge, a mysterious hole that defies explanation. As he and his friend explored the area on their bikes, they discovered something eerie. The hole swallows rocks without emitting a single sound, reminiscent of tales later recounted by the infamous Mel Waters. But Jay isn't the only one with a tale to tell. Enter Rodney, a local working at a nearby snowmobile dealership. Despite spending years in Ellensburg, Rodney had only heard whispers of the enigmatic hole nestled within the ridge. He had never laid eyes on it himself. In a town steeped in folklore and whispers, the mystery of the ridge's hidden void beckons, drawing curious souls into its enigmatic embrace. Join us as we venture deeper into the heart of Ellensburg's most tantalizing mystery, where reality blurs with the inexplicable, and every revelation brings us closer to unlocking the truth behind the mysterious abyss of Manistash Ridge. One of the most confounding mysteries surrounding the hole is its eerie silence. Despite objects being hurled into its depths, there's no echo, no hint of them reaching the bottom. Determined to unravel this enigma, Mel, drawing upon his experience as a fisherman, devised a plan to measure the hole's depth. With a 1-pound weight attached to a fishing line, Mel lowered it into the pit, expecting to hit solid ground. Yet, to his astonishment, even after extending 4,500 feet of line, the weight remained suspended in the abyss, untouched by the floor below. Undeterred, Mel's curiosity only intensified. He then ingeniously attached a lifesaver candy to the line, hoping to detect the presence of water within the depths. However, upon retrieval, the candy emerged dry, revealing that the hole was devoid of any water. Undaunted, Mel continued his quest, adding more lines and extending them further into the seemingly bottomless void. With each additional 10,000 feet of line, the depth remained elusive, with no end in sight. Even after exhausting an astonishing 80,000 feet of line, the bottom remained a tantalizing mystery. Unable to contain his astonishment, Mel felt compelled to share his discovery with the world. But little did he know, his revelation would attract the attention of government officials, leading to the deployment of drones to further explore the depths of this extraordinary anomaly. The question remains, what secrets lie hidden within the depths of Mel's backyard? Join us as we delve deeper into this captivating saga, where each revelation brings us closer to unlocking the truth behind the enigmatic hole and its profound implications. Stay tuned for more revelations as we unravel the mysteries that lie within. Chapter 2. The Art Bell Radio Revelation. As Mel pondered how best to share his astounding discovery with the world, he stumbled upon the perfect platform, Art Bell's renowned radio program. But why did he choose this particular show over others? To understand, let's delve into the world of Art Bell and his legendary broadcast. Art Bell was a beloved broadcaster whose legacy still resonates even after his passing. He was best known for his captivating coast-to-coast AM radio program, a late-night journey into the realms of the extraordinary. Broadcasting from approximately 10 or 11 p.m. until the early hours of dawn, Bell's show became a beacon for those fascinated by the unusual, the mysterious, and the paranormal. What made Bell's program so irresistible? It was his unique blend of storytelling prowess and dynamic hosting style that drew in legions of listeners. Each night, Coast to Coast AM delved into a myriad of topics, from cryptids to government conspiracies, from alternative medicine to encounters with the supernatural. But it wasn't just Bell's voice that captivated audiences. It was the platform he provided for guests, professionals, and callers to share their own experiences, opinions, and theories about these bizarre subjects. In a world where the unexplained reigns supreme, Art Bell's show stood as a beacon of curiosity, drawing in audiences eager to explore the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of normalcy. And it was on this iconic program that Mel chose to unveil the mind-boggling secrets hidden within the depths of his backyard abyss. But what would happen when Mel's revelation met the ears of Bell's avid listeners? Join us as we tune into the next chapter of this captivating saga, where truth and speculation collide on the airwaves of Coast to Coast AM. In search of a platform that embraced the unconventional and fostered a community of curious minds, Mel Waters found his match in a unique radio show. Convinced that this was the perfect stage to share his extraordinary discovery, Mel reached out to Art Bell on the 21st of February 1997. And it didn't take long for Bell to respond. Intrigued by Mel's message, he promptly gave him a call, sparking the beginning of an intriguing conversation. Making his debut appearance on the show, Mel recounted his remarkable experiences in vivid detail, captivating the audience's imagination. Soon, the conversation turned to the mysterious hole, with listeners offering their own theories and suggestions. Some proposed using special light beams or radar to fathom its depths, while others speculated about its origins and purpose. But Mel had even more startling revelations to share. In addition to the perplexing depth of the hole, he disclosed that animals exhibited a peculiar aversion to its vicinity, as if sensing an unseen danger lurking within. Moreover, Mel noticed strange interference affecting his radio whenever he approached the hole, with eerie echoes from the past haunting the airwaves. Despite the eerie aura surrounding the hole, one curious anomaly stood out. While animals shied away, the surrounding vegetation flourished unaffected, seemingly unperturbed by the enigmatic presence in their midst. As Mel's story unfolded on the airwaves, it captivated audiences far and wide, sparking fervent discussions and igniting imaginations. But what other secrets lie concealed within the silent depths of Mel's backyard abyss? Join us as we delve deeper into this extraordinary saga, where each revelation unveils a new layer of mystery, and the line between reality and the unknown begins to blur. Mel wasn't alone in noticing the odd behavior of animals near the hole. His neighbors shared similar tales of their dogs acting strangely. One neighbor even recounted a curious story that added another layer to the hole's mysteries. "All right, buckle up for this one," the neighbor began. He had a beloved dog who sadly passed away. What did he do next? Instead of burying the dog, overwhelmed with grief and love, he placed its body in the hole. But then, a few days later, he swore he spotted the same dog darting through the forest. Could it be possible? The man recounted how he called out to his dog, but there was no response. The dog just kept sprinting as if it were being chased by something. Does this mean that Mel's mysterious hole has the power to bring the dead back to life? How else can we make sense of the inexplicable resurrection of a deceased dog in that hole? As the neighbor wrapped up his tale, another chimed in, revealing that he had heard about a dark beam of light shooting from the hole up into the clouds. It was described as eerie and unlike anything seen before, although the witness admitted he hadn't personally seen it. This revelation sparked memories of other strange occurrences in the area. Listeners of the show shared stories of UFO sightings, disappearances, and other bizarre events around Manistash Ridge. Some even speculated that the hole might lie on a ley line, an invisible energy pathway across the Earth, possibly serving as a portal to another dimension. But then came the skepticism. If someone or something was truly down there, why hadn't they grabbed Mel's fishing line? And if they had such extraordinary powers, why just bring a dog back to life? Could there be a super-empowered individual lurking below, capable of manipulating life and objects thrown into the hole? The possibilities seemed endless, yet elusive. Despite the intrigue, the idea of someone venturing into the hole was quickly dismissed, with even the most adventurous listener volunteering to stay clear. Instead, a drone was sent down, revealing something peculiar lurking within. But what could it be? Hang tight for a little longer. We're about to delve deeper into this mystery. Following this unsettling encounter, Mel returned to Bell's show to share his experience. A caller shed light on the sudden appearance of soldiers, explaining that Mel's property was situated near the Yakima Training Center, a government facility that likely prompted the military's presence. But following this incident, Art Bell attempted to reach out to Mel for another interview on the show. However, all attempts to connect with him failed. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. What could have possibly happened to Mel? Was that the end of his story? Not quite. But before we delve deeper, let me share another peculiar occurrence related to the hole. In the aftermath of the government's interference, airplanes were prohibited from flying over Mel's property. Then, on a satellite imagery website, the area surrounding Mel's mysterious hole appeared as a black square. Some speculated that Mel had stumbled upon this black square online and concocted an elaborate story around it. But here's the twist. The website displaying the black square didn't even exist until 6 months after Mel first shared his tale. This revelation debunked the notion that Mel had fabricated the entire story. But why were flights barred from the area? Could this restriction be linked to what the drone uncovered in the depths of the hole? Keep watching to uncover the answers. Chapter 4. Mel's return to the Art Bell radio program. After a mysterious 2-year absence, Mel made a surprise comeback on Bell's show. Where had he been all this time? Mel had an entirely new story to share. It all started 3 years earlier when he found himself caught up in a bizarre series of events. Scheduled for his 3rd appearance on the radio show, Mel had just finished helping his nephew move into an apartment when his bus to Olympia was halted by transit authorities due to a scuffle among passengers. Forced off the bus and onto another, Mel suddenly blacked out. When he regained consciousness, he found himself in a dirty alley in San Francisco, realizing he had lost 12 days of his life. To make matters worse, he discovered an IV line in his arm for no apparent reason. His belongings were missing, and he could taste blood in his mouth. Desperate, Mel reached out to his nephew for help, only to find out that all his money had vanished from his bank account. Adding insult to injury, the government broadcasted false claims that Mel had constructed buildings and roads, none of which he had done. But then came an unexpected offer. A lifelong lease on his land in exchange for a whopping $3 million monthly payment. The catch? He had to relocate and keep silent about the hole. Tempted by the lucrative offer, Mel accepted and moved to Australia. However, now he was breaking the silence. Ready to reveal the truth, Mel decided to spill the beans on everything that had happened to him. But that's not all. He had even more tales to share, including one about a second mysterious hole. Upon his return to the show, Mel kicked off with a fascinating story about a rare dime bearing the image of President Roosevelt from 1943, a year when such dimes were not supposed to exist. The mint mark on the coin, usually indicating its origin, added another layer of complexity. This dime stood out because of the inclusion of the letter B, an unusual detail as no American city has ever been named after a single letter. Mel took it to a professional coin appraiser, only to find out days later that the Treasury Department had taken possession of the coin. But why? There are numerous speculations about this mysterious coin. Some theories link the coin to Mel's curious encounters with a hole and possible extraterrestrial activity. Reports of strange phenomena near the hole include accounts of time distortions. Witnesses have described incidents where time seemed to slow down or clocks malfunctioned in the vicinity. Some even reported instances of missing time, unable to account for periods of their experiences. These stories paint a picture of odd fluctuations in time that defy explanation. Numerous theories have emerged to explain the strange occurrences tied to Mel's mysterious hole and its alleged time-related events. Some suggest gravitational anomalies might be at play, causing time dilation and interdimensional rifts. Yet, without solid scientific evidence or thorough investigation, these remain speculative elements in the enigma of Mel's hole. On another front, Mel's journey took an unexpected turn with the discovery of a second hole. A Native American tribe from Nevada reached out to him after hearing about his experiences. To Mel's surprise, they too had a similar anomaly. Eager to uncover the truth, they sought Mel's help, drawing him into yet another mystery. As Mel ventured to Nevada, he found himself questioned about his encounters with the first hole before being led to the location of the second. Just like before, everyone wondered, what secrets lie beneath this newfound abyss? This second mysterious hole wasn't nestled in Native American territory, but in a public area inhabited by the Basque community. The Basque, who arrived in Nevada during the 1800s to tend to their sheep, revealed that the hole had been a fixture for over 2 centuries. Unlike others, the Basque treated the site with reverence, viewing it as sacred. Instead of discarding debris into the hole, they maintained its purity. Similar in size to Mel's initial discovery, approximately 9 feet wide, this hole boasted a unique feature, a metal ring encircling its perimeter in lieu of a stone wall. But there's more to this hole's mystique. When Mel inadvertently dropped a metal object near the ring, it landed with an unexpected silence, unlike the clatter one would expect. This anomaly puzzled Mel and added to the intrigue surrounding the enigmatic aperture. Meanwhile, Mel's journey took a twist when a Nevada-based Native American tribe reached out to him after hearing of his first hole. Surprisingly, they disclosed they had their own inexplicable hole. Seeking Mel's assistance in unraveling the mysteries they shared, they drew him into a new adventure. Eager to delve into another mystery, Mel set off for Nevada. First, he was grilled about his experiences with the first hole before being guided to the location of the second one. Familiar questions echoed in his mind and amongst the group. What secrets lie beneath this new abyss? Unlike the first hole, this one resided not on Native American territory, but in a public area inhabited by the Basque community. The Basque, who migrated to Nevada in the 1800s to tend to their flocks, revealed that this enigmatic aperture had graced the landscape for over 2 centuries. Unlike others who disregarded it, the Basque revered the site, treating it as sacred. They refrained from depositing soil into the hole, preserving its sanctity. Measuring approximately 9 feet wide, similar to Mel's initial discovery, this hole sported a distinct feature, a metal ring encircling its perimeter instead of a stone wall. But the intrigue didn't end there. As Mel observed, this hole held an extra dose of fascination. Mel stumbled upon another peculiar aspect of the hole when he accidentally dropped a piece of metal near the ring. It landed without the expected clang. Quite odd, as metals typically produce a distinctive sound upon impact. But that's not where the strangeness ends. Curiosity piqued, Mel and the Basques embarked on a series of experiments to further probe the hole's mysteries. Their first trial involved lowering a bucket filled with ice into the hole while leaving some ice on the surface. As the ice above gradually melted, they retrieved the bucket from the depths. To their astonishment, the ice within hadn't melted at all. Instead, it had transformed into a dry, chalk-like substance. Intrigued by this unexpected result, they decided to apply fire to the ice. The outcome was mind-boggling. The ice ignited and continued burning for months. Yet, subsequent attempts to replicate the experiment yielded inconsistent results, leaving them grasping for a coherent explanation. With curiosity driving them forward, one brave soul offered to venture into the hole, eager to uncover its secrets firsthand. But Mel and the others quickly intervened, warning against the idea due to the intense heat emanating from the depths. So, they scrapped that plan and devised another approach. They would lower a sheep into the hole to observe its reaction. Much like with the first hole, animals seemed instinctively wary of this one too, shying away from its presence as if sensing danger. Despite the sheep's reluctance, they pressed on with their plan. Wrestling with the frightened animal, they eventually subdued it and placed it into a box for the descent. As the box descended into the depths, the sheep's struggles ceased upon reaching close to 1,000 feet. Initially, they assumed the sheep had simply adjusted to the heat, but something felt off. After leaving the sheep in the hole for around 30 minutes, they retrieved it, only to make a grim discovery. It had perished inside the box. Shock rippled through the group as they confronted the eerie reality of their findings. Imagine this: the guy who bravely volunteered to explore what lay below couldn't believe what he was seeing. When the Basques decided to crack open the sheep to investigate, they were in for a wild surprise. At first, it seemed like the sheep had been cooked up like a snack, but what they found inside was mind-boggling. There, nestled within a monstrous lump, something stirred. Summoning up all their courage, they sliced open the lump to reveal a creature that resembled a mix between a baby seal and a human, connected to the lump by a mysterious cord. As if that wasn't strange enough, the creature seemed to communicate its desire to return to the depths from whence it came. With a mixture of curiosity and trepidation, they helped it back. But the story doesn't end there. One of the Basques decided to take some of the peculiar burning ice back to their cabin. Was this a wise choice? Stay tuned to find out. Picture this. After Mel's departure from Nevada, he had no idea that the mysterious creature had performed a miraculous feat, healed him of a grave throat cancer. His doctor had given him grim odds before his journey, but upon his return, he was miraculously free from illness. It seemed that the second hole possessed an extraordinary power of healing, reminiscent of the first hole that brought a dog back to life. This tale of wonder captured the imagination of all who heard it that fateful night. But the saga was far from over. Months later, Mel returned to the airwaves, eager to share the latest chapter. He recounted the story of the man who took home some of the enigmatic burning ice, hoping to ward off the chill. Little did he know, the ice had plans of its own. As the ice settled into his cabin, the man noticed a peculiar phenomenon. It began to draw moisture from everything in its vicinity. His skin grew dry, his thirst unquenchable. Even boiling water proved futile as the ice somehow absorbed the steam. Then, one tragic day, he returned to find his once sturdy cabin reduced to rubble and dust, the relentless ice still burning. To his shock, the stove where he stored the ice had vanished into the earth, leaving behind a chilling mystery. As they examined the scene more closely, they made a startling discovery. The burning ice was actually carving out a new hole in the earth. Try as they might, they couldn't budge the hole on their own. It took the might of a massive crane to finally dislodge it. But that wasn't the only extraordinary thing happening around that second hole. In a twist that seemed straight out of a fairy tale, the Basques found themselves experiencing something truly magical or spiritual. Occasionally, the creature would emerge from the depths and communicate with them through mysterious beeps and clicks, seemingly transmitted through the radio waves. Somehow, it had forged a connection with them, tapping into a strange and potent energy emanating from the hole. Through this inexplicable bond, they had formed a profound spiritual connection with the enigmatic creature. Then, something remarkable caught their attention. vibrantly colored birds began flocking around the hole, seemingly unaffected by any threat or disturbance. Rather than instilling fear, the Basques saw this as a sign of divine favor bestowed by the creature. Mel's recounting of events felt so vividly real that Bell couldn't help but ask for photographic and video evidence. Mel assured him he'd deliver all of that upon his return to Nevada, leaving the audience eagerly anticipating more. However, despite promises of further revelations, subsequent episodes never materialized. Mel ceased responding to Art's messages, his phone went silent, and he vanished without a trace. So, what are we to make of this extraordinary tale? Could the first hole truly exist? Or did Mel concoct the second hole story to mask its existence? The mystery deepened when a drone was deployed to investigate Mel's hole, revealing a shocking revelation. Curious to uncover the truth? Then stay tuned until the very end of the video. Chapter 5: In Pursuit of Mel's Mysterious Abyss. Imagine this. There's a legend floating around about a mythical pit called Mel's Hole. Some folks were convinced it existed and set out to hunt it down, fueled by Mel Waters' intriguing descriptions. But the big question loomed. Was it all just a tall tale? Enter Jack Powell, a seasoned geologist from Ellensburg. He tuned in to one of the earliest coast-to-coast AM broadcasts featuring Mel's wild tales. With years of experience under his belt, including stints in petroleum exploration and teaching geology, Powell felt he had a hunch about where this elusive hole might be hiding. Growing up in the Quitus Valley, Powell's childhood adventures often led him to an old gold mine shaft nestled in a field northwest of Ellensburg. He remembered it well, a shaft that angled down into the earth, a relic from the days when mining was booming. Powell figured it must have been at least 90 feet deep, perhaps even stretching down to a staggering 300 feet during its prime. But when Powell caught wind of the wild claims about Mel's Hole being perched atop Manistash Ridge, supposedly plunging a mind-boggling 880,000 feet into the depths, he had to pause. The numbers just didn't add up. With his geologist's mind buzzing, Powell recalled the deepest mine shafts and caverns ever recorded, none of which came close to Mel's purported depth. He knew from his years of experience that such an immense void would defy the laws of geology, imploding under its own weight and the intense pressure and heat of the Earth's layers. Convinced that Mel's fantastical tale was spun from something much more mundane, Powell connected the dots. He reasoned that Mel likely embellished a humble hole he knew from the area near Ellensburg, a spot tucked away on private property, fenced off and far from prying eyes. To Powell, it seemed Mel had woven his mysterious narrative around a more grounded reality, transforming a simple hole into the stuff of legend atop Manistash Ridge. Fast forward to 2001, when members of a Seattle discussion group delving into the enigma of Mel's Hole reached out to Powell. They were on a mission to unravel the mysteries surrounding this legendary chasm and sought Powell's expertise in their quest. To this group, Mel's Hole wasn't just a myth, it was a reality waiting to be uncovered. Eager to assist, Powell welcomed the group into his world of geology, offering them a crash course on the intricate landscape of Manistash Ridge. With a twinkle in his eye, he led them to the old mine shaft that had sparked the legend of Mel's Hole, revealing its humble origins. As he explained, the fabled hole atop Manistash Ridge was nothing more than a figment of imagination. However, undeterred by Powell's revelation, the group refused to abandon hope. United by their shared curiosity, they banded together to form the Paranormal Society, a diverse assembly bundled up against the cold, ready to embark on their adventure. Among them were a physicist, a father-son duo from Seattle, a trio of amateur filmmakers from Los Angeles, a family from Enumclaw, members of a paranormal investigation team hailing from Vancouver, and a shaman known as Red Elk. With spirits high and determination in their hearts, they set out in search of the elusive Mel's Hole, driven by the thrill of the unknown. With a sense of adventure fueling their spirits, the group set off from the Copper Kettle, heading towards the fabled Manistash Ridge, the very place Mel Waters had described over the airwaves. In their minds, Mel's Hole could be anything from a colossal lava tube to what Liv intriguingly dubbed a Mount Rainier blowhole. However, their enthusiasm was met with skepticism from Pat Pringle, a geologist from the State Department of Natural Resources. According to him, the landscape of this area, shaped over 12 million years ago by volcanic activity, simply didn't lend itself to the existence of a hole as deep as Mel's. While he acknowledged the quirks of nature, he doubted that such a massive void could exist within the brittle volcanic rock nearby. And as for the idea of fishing for answers in such depths? Well, Pringle was certain the Earth's heat would fry any fishing line long before it got anywhere near 880,000 feet down. Despite Pringle's reservations, Liv remained steadfast in her belief that uncovering Mel's Hole would be a monumental discovery, possibly hinting at untold dangers lurking beneath. To her, it was a challenge that every geologist worth their salt should tackle head-on. In her eyes, if you fancied yourself a geologist but hadn't embarked on the quest to find Mel's Hole, you still had some exploring left to do. Armed with determination and a variety of tools, the searchers set out on their expedition equipped with maps, metal detectors, and even a trusty GPS reader. As they trekked along the trail, it was Red Elk, the shaman, who took the lead. With an air of confidence, he claimed to have laid eyes on the elusive hole back in 1961, a moment that had left an indelible mark on him. Red Elk, a Native American shaman steeped in tradition and mysticism, recounted tales of the mysterious chasm he dubbed the Devil's Hole. According to him, this enigmatic void was endless, shrouded in strange occurrences that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to venture near. But that's not all. Red Elk spun stories of government secrets, whispering of a clandestine underground base hidden within the depths where alien activity supposedly thrived. He vividly described witnessing colossal spacecraft descending upon the hole, their otherworldly occupants bustling about during the summer solstice, loading and unloading unknown cargo before vanishing into the skies. Yet, despite the intrigue woven into Red Elk's narrative, his claims remained unverified, leaving the searchers to ponder the mysteries of Mel's Hole with a mix of wonder and skepticism. Since Red Elk was the sole witness to his claims, the searchers listened intently but pressed on with their mission nonetheless. Among them was Betsy Wise from California, who carried a metal detector in hopes of uncovering answers to her migraines, spurred by Mel's tantalizing suggestion of the hole's magical properties. Others felt a spiritual pull, seeing the hole as a key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe. After a brisk 10-minute hike, the group arrived at a cattle gate where the rugged landscape unfolded before them, slash piles and clear-cut ridges defining the terrain. Red Elk, with a pouch containing a curious piece of squashed power dangling from his neck, pointed out the spot where they should focus their search, a tangle of tree limbs and stumps off to the right. With a directive to dig in, he took a brief respite while the searchers sprang into action. Some eagerly scrambled towards the designated spot, while others lingered, pondering how to measure gases escaping from the Earth through the hole. Discussions ensued over the utility of a mass spectrometer and the regret of not bringing a Geiger counter. Meanwhile, Shah Kennedy of the Paranormal Amateur Research Association in Vancouver, BC, checked the coordinates on his GPS receiver, his curiosity piqued by tales akin to those from Ghostbusters, turning the pursuit of the unexplained into a hobby. And high atop the ridge, the adventure unfolded. As the search progressed, momentum dwindled. Red Elk had shifted his focus, delving into discussions about an intriguing realm he called Inner Earth, leaving the physical hunt behind. Tim Y. of Auburn, the resident skeptic, remained unconvinced of Mel's Hole's existence, expressing frustration at the group's readiness to buy into the narrative. He lamented the lack of scientific rigor, likening the endeavor to an adult cartoon. However, back at their base camp, a glimmer of hope emerged. a splinter group ventured further down the road, stumbling upon an old driveway marked by a chain strung between two weathered posts. Excitement rippled through the group as someone proclaimed this could be the spot. Eager to reignite their quest, they resolved to embark on yet another exploration of the mysterious hole, fueled by the prospect of discovery. Bring up Mel's hole with a scientist, and you might just get a hearty chuckle in response. But for those dedicated souls out there actively seeking it, they're accustomed to the skepticism, even the occasional label of crazy. Take Buddy Bolton, a filmmaker from Los Angeles, for example. He couldn't care less about public opinion. For him, the quest for Mel's hole is about exploring faith and clinging to the belief that there's some truth to it all. Phil Lipson, curator at the Northwest Museum of Legends and Lore, is another believer. Despite never laying eyes on the hole himself, he's heard the tales and is convinced of its existence. In fact, he once led an expedition in search of it. Despite coming up empty-handed, Lipson remains steadfast in his conviction that Mel's hole is a genuine phenomenon, just waiting to be uncovered. As it turns out, the rumored drone exploration of the hole never actually happened. It was merely a figment of speculation. So, does Mel's hole truly exist? Adding to the intrigue, there's no concrete record of Mel Waters ever residing in Ellensburg. Could he have been pulling the wool over our eyes all along? Only time will tell. Thanks for joining us for another captivating episode of Cosmic Discovery. While you're here, why not explore some of the other fascinating videos waiting for you on your screen?